Now I grew up down an old dirt road in a town you wouldn't know.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Alpha Blade Reviews. Today I'm going to do, as the title suggests, I'm going to do a video on the Ganzo G740. The 700 series, really, they don't really have that many 600 series anymore. I think that's probably what they started with. The G740, I don't know. I told a buddy of mine that it was my second favorite Ganzo. I only have two kinds because they were the two that really appealed to me, that really didn't look like a direct copy of Benchmade or Spyderco. So anyway, this one is growing on me because the G10 is almost exactly, if not exactly, like the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 G10. I mean, it's smooth, but it's grippy at the same time. It's not overkill like some people think the Cold Steels are. I don't think the Cold Steel G10 is overkill. But anyway, to each his own. It seems to have a 90-degree spine on it, and it's very thick. I will have comparisons near the end of the video of some knives that, you know, I used to think are pretty big, but anyhow. All right, let's get on with it. First of all, I'll show you the actuation of I mean, that thing slams so hard that it just, there. I'm not trying to cut my finger off, but I mean, I'm just closing it with my thumb. It is the axis lock, or a rendition of. And I mean, it flies open. I'm not moving my wrist. All right. So anyway, so you can see that it flies open and it's big. Okay, so my hands are 7.5 inches long from the pommel of the knife, if you would call that a pommel on a folder. The butt of the knife all the way to the tip of my middle finger. 7.5 inches long. Raise it up just a little bit. And you can see how big this is. And then how big it is in the hand to actually hold it in a fist. Hope that picks up. But anyway, they always have markings of the Ganzo. You can see that the satin finish is almost like a mirror finish. I really like that. I like stonewashed, but I hate bead blasted because it tends to rust pretty easy. And most blades that I've seen bead blasted are cheap. They're HCR13 MOV most of the time, which I don't have a problem with that steel. It's just the fact that there's so many better ones out there for not that much more money. Like this, it's a 440C knife. It's huge. I mean, really, for the shape of it, it's the biggest knife in this shape that I've seen. And I don't know, it's like a hybrid between a Rat 1 and I don't know what else. It reminds me of the Rat 1, but it's different. It picks up fingerprints easy. That's how mirror polished it is. But if you look closely, if it'll pick up for you, you'll be able to see the grind lines. And I want you to look at this grind on this knife too. Let's if I can look under it so I can see what I'm doing. The grind on this knife too is phenomenal. At the bottom, you can see that it's even all the way around. I'm going to show you here, if it'll pick up. I mean, it's even all the way to the tip. The same amount on both sides, which I would say is probably, well, I don't have my small ruler out, but probably tops 2 millimeters, and it's a full flat grind. Let's go ahead and get into the specifics. I'm going to go ahead and do the size and all that kind of stuff, the weight, because like I said, I don't care what the internet says. I care what I have in my hand that I've actually bought, okay? So this knife is a lot lighter than the G720. I forget what the G720 was. I think it was somewhere around the range of 7.5 ounces or 8 ounces. I think 7.5. This one is exactly 5.5 ounces, not 5.5. 5.5 would be 5.8 ounces. This is 5.5 ounces. That's doable. I mean, to me, I like big folders, so that doesn't really impede me unless, you know, sometimes in gym shorts or something, basketball shorts, you know, you can tell or whatever, but it's still, it's not that big of a deal. Like in scrubs and nursing, yeah, I wouldn't carry this in the hospital anyway. It's too darn big. Look at it. But you can see it compared to my forearms. I mean, that blade. I mean, I got a scar here that's 2 inches long from biopsy. But anyway, you saw the blade compared to that. I mean, it's pretty darn big. So anyway, so you got 5.5 ounces. All right, cool. All said and done. I'm trying not to drag these videos out, y'all, but I like doing them. I enjoy them. Sound like an envelope there. All right, so we have exactly, overall length is 9 1/8 inches. 9 1/8. It really looks bigger than that. I mean, if I was to hold it this way towards you, you know, things pointing at the camera, you know, you see the pictures online of people's knives and they have them like this. Actually, I sell a lot of knives in this format, the way it's lying on eBay. And for some reason they sell faster. I don't know. But the tip on this one is ridiculous. I mean, compared to the other Ganzo that's made after the line steel, the 720, it's more of an upswept tip, like a spear point blade, and they're a whore to sharpen. That's the only thing I hate, because like if you're stropping, like let's just say you have a handheld strop, okay? If you got a strop and you're stropping and you're going along with this blade, all I'm doing is this. And I'll turn the strop slightly, or I can lift the knife up slightly. I can turn the strop slightly or toward the tip. Or I can lift the knife up slightly toward the tip. Same thing coming this way. I can turn it slightly. Well, get it all the way through. I'm trying not to dull it because I hadn't messed with this one too much. I've been carrying the bigger one, the heavier one, the G720. This is a 740 for those of you who are, your mind's drifting. But anyway, or you can lift up as you come to the point. Okay, on the spear point, I don't have that knife out. Actually, I do. On the spear point, what I'm trying to say is, and sharpening is the same way. If you're using ceramic rods, I like the Spyderco Sharp Maker that does this. I mean, you're going, you see how the curve in that blade is upswept. They have the Farad 2, or the Farad K2 from Spyderco on sale right now at Knife Center and Knife Works. And it's in 10V, and I know that's going to be a whore to sharpen. 10V, I mean, it's really, it's tougher than what the charts say, because my buddy's a knife maker and I've tested it. But at the same time, it holds an edge longer than S90V, so I would hate to sharpen it. I mean, just knowing what a little bit I know about metallurgy. Anyway, off subject, back on subject. This is the spear point. This is what I like this knife better for, is sharp. That's why I like sharpening this one. I know this is going to be so much easier once I get down and dirty and have to really sharpen it instead of just strop it. But anyway, with this one, you're looking at taking the strop and you've got to turn the whole blade. You've got to turn the whole blade up toward like that. Or if you were to do it without turning the strop, if it was laying there, you got to do it even more. To me, I mean, it takes a little more agility and practice and patience, because unless you've just been stropping for 30 years, I'll digress on that. So anyway, that's the thing about that. So it's 9 1/8 inches long. The blade, we're looking at from the base exactly 4 inches, and you have 3.75 inches of cutting edge, which is pretty cool. And if you look pretty close right here, you have a nice ricasso here. So if you did have to do some up close and personal work, you know, and just grip it certain ways, I really catch myself gripping like this a lot. Although there's no functional jimping right here, the darn thing is so ergonomic and comfortable. And look, there's no finger grooves. Amen. All you have is a finger choil right here. There's no finger grooves. Those are my favorite kind of knives because they fit everybody's hand. I mean, yeah, it's just my opinion anyway, but you can see the jimping along the spine. And I would say it's a low to medium texture. You know, it's definitely not my favorite. It's definitely not Spyderco or Knives of Alaska jimping. Okay, so anyway, there's your specs. 3.75 in the actual cutting edge, 4-inch blade. 9 1/8 inch in length. And let's go ahead and do the blade height in the millimeters of the spine, because I'm always interested in that in videos, and for some reason people don't like to include that. You're looking at almost 1 1/8 inch tall from the spine down to the primary edge. Okay, so what? Oh yeah, I was going to do the millimeters, and this is going to be a little harder with this ruler. Yeah, I should have been ready for this. Sorry about that. I'll tell you what. Just a sec. All right, guys, I'm back. Basically, let's get it on to the millimeters. Is exactly, come on, Joey, 4 millimeters thick. So very, very nice thickness. I think a little over 5 is 3/16. But anyway, so there's your dimensions and your measurements. Now, how does it cut? How does it cut coming straight from the factory? That's what I love to know. So let's take out a hunting catalog, because I am a deer hunter. This is a local, anyway, it's regular magazine paper. Flimsy. It's not as flimsy as some notebook paper, but it's flimsier than your printer paper, which is, to me, the easiest to sharpen. Stab myself there. Anyway, all right. Trying to get Steve. We're just gonna do some push cuts. And also, if you don't hold the paper taut enough, I don't care how sharp your knife is, it's not gonna work. So let's just do a push cut. Now let's stab. Now I'm just pushing. I mean, all right. And then I'll take a piece. Messed up. Trying to get just the very edge, and I mean, I'm reaching over the table doing this, so it's not really picking up. But man, just trust me, y'all. It's they come sharp as hell from the box and out of the box. At least all of my Ganzos have. If I say Ganzo, I'm sorry. I call it Ganzo and Ganzo. But anyway, that's how sharp these things come, and which is about the same sharpness as I can get my knives after I never let a knife go dull per se. The only knife that's ever gone dull on me is a 4116 Krupp from Cold Steel. And it's known to have superior corrosion resistance, but they don't hold an edge. But man, they get sharp so fast. It's just awesome. And they just don't hold that edge. But if you like to sharpen, which I do, it's not a big deal. All right, so competitive options, or maybe let's just say comparisons. Everybody knows what this is. This is the Cold Steel Recon 1. And I would call this the Generation 3, maybe. I think this is the 3rd design they've come out with through the years. This is the one with the DLC coating, which, if those of you that don't know, that may be new to knives, y'all be patient with me, you knife guys out there like me. The DLC coating is diamond light coating, but what they do, instead of actually painting the blade or putting a powder finish on the blade, they actually bake it. And it's like 1/2 millimeter into the steel. So it's almost, you know, it's probably not going to lose its coating doing normal stuff unless you just use it a whole lot. Anyway, this is a huge knife. This is 9 3/8 inches, I think, with a 4-inch cutting edge. And yeah, let's hold this. Let me see how steady I can get this, just to show you. Let's set them right on top of each other. They're exactly the same size. Okay, just to show you, $23.99 from an American seller out of California on eBay. If you want to wait 6 weeks or 2 months, buy from China. I don't want to wait that long to save $5. That's about what you save. So anyway, that's against the Recon 1. And yeah, they're easy to close. They're easy to open. You just have to work in that lock. And don't be a puss about it. Excuse my language. Bitch Made Blue Lube works really well for that. Another knife, the Rat 1. Okay, the Rat 1. Okay, so this is the one that kind of reminds me of this knife, but you can tell that the Ganzo completely dwarfs the Rat 1. And there are pictures, if you hit images on Google Images, of the different Ganzos. There are people who show images of the comparisons and stuff. I just like seeing them in videos too, especially if I'm about to pull the trigger on one. I don't care what the knife costs. If I really like it, I get excited. I'm about to pull the trigger and I'm looking, I'm like, man, you know, damn, should I buy two? Should I get one in black and one in blue, or one in orange and one in green at the same time by two different sellers, just to kind of compare the, you know, see if it's the same, see how the quality control measures up between, you know, the companies sending it to two different distributors. Anyway, let's see what else. Okay, axis lock versus axis lock. A real one, the Benchmade Griptilian. You can hear that. It is just sick smooth. All right, I love orange, by the way. So it's my favorite color. So Benchmade Griptilian, $97.50. $97.50. And they can't go down on their prices. They're like Spyderco now. The companies, I don't know how they stay in competition with each other with Spyderco and Benchmade, or Zero Tolerance. So I think Zero Tolerance is one of them too. There's your comparison. Okay, 440C versus 154CM. I like 154CM a little better, just in my limited use of 440C through the Ganzo 720. I hit it up against a Kydex sheath. I actually kind of dropped it, and it put just a tiny microscopic bend or fold in the edge, where if I held it up to the light and closed one eye, I could just barely see the light glimmer off of it. I've done that with this, and it doesn't do that. So I don't know if it's the edge angle, or you know what it is per side, the degree. I don't know what these come at, but I'm guessing they're around 20 degrees per side, and probably around 18 on the Benchmade. You can find the stats out there. All right, so Benchmade. Now let's get into a fixed blade. Actually, this is a competitive blah Chinese option. This is a fixed blade, the Kershaw Antelope Hunter. And I have skinned many animals with this blade. HCR13 MOV. Nothing wrong with it. But look, hey, it's not pea blasted. Go figure. What did I say earlier in the video? I like these kind of blades. All right, so compare them. There you go. You got your fixed blade that you got to worry about a sheath, and then you have a full through construction knife that's easy to clean. All you gotta do is oil it. Just remember to oil the pivot after you wash it. Okay, that's the Antelope Hunter. We're almost through. And then I have the ever so classic Maura. This is the Maura Heavy-Duty Mg. Basically, it's the carbon steel model. Probably the most popular one out there. Besides, it's a companion. And you can see if that picks up that I actually ground down the top with a file so that I could hit a fire steel on it. I don't even know if I have a fire steel out. Yeah, I do. And those of you that are new to knives, Maura, man, $15 to $20. I mean, you get a 3.2 millimeter spine compared to the 4 millimeter spine that's on this one. And I'm fixing to test and see if this one, the Ganzo, is going to strike a ferro rod. I've not tried that yet. Look at this crap. The Ganzo dwarfs it. I mean, in blade height, at least, it's the same size. I mean, it's pretty cool. Full flat grind. I mean, I know these have a Scandi grind on them, so a lot of people like that. But let's just do it like this. All right. Sorry, I'm almost hitting the camera, but that's with and no, I'm not going to catch my house on fire. Any experienced person with a fire steel knows that those sparks aren't going to catch that easy. Not that far away. All right, so that's what it does to your knife. You turn around and you can wipe it right off right there, as you can see. And there's the other side. And I have used this a lot because, like I said, I use my cheaper knives more than my more expensive ones. All right, let's try the Ganzo. I don't want to mess up my blade, my spine, but holy shit. Excuse me. Oh man, this thing, okay, like I said, you think it might ruin it. You look at that, And all it's going to do, usually on most steels, even S30V, I have the Benchmade Bushcrafter. It leaves little bitty indentations you can feel with your finger. Just little bitty marks. I mean, that's going to come out or not, but they're ever so slight. I don't like that with a knife over $100. But on a knife like this, $23.99, I'm okay with it for the most part. But after I have it for a while, I'll carry it more and use it more, and it'll start showing signs of wear, and then I won't care anymore at all. Oh yeah, one more comparison. How about a 308 bullet, a sniper bullet? That's all I shoot is a 30-30 and a 308, okay? Let's just compare the blade to a 308 bullet. How about that? And then the knife. That's pretty nut. I mean, I know this isn't like 300 Win mag or, you know, a 7mm bullet or anything like that, but 308's not tiny either, you know? It's bigger than your AR round. I think that's about it, y'all. This video, like I said, is dedicated to my friend Lynn from California. And Lynn, to show you the two that I have, I actually have three. I showed in another video, the orange one of this one. But just to give you an idea, on eBay, around 25, around 24, something like that, 26 and 24. If you want to get it within like 3 days, and actually you in California, you'll probably get it within 2 days at the most. But there's your differences. I mean, you have a larger blade, but I mean, the blade stock is the same, I think, on both of them. Maybe a little, no, it's a little thicker. It's 4.5mm on your 720. Okay, this one to me feels every bit as good as this one in the hand. This one has more of a palm swell, a little bit of a palm swell in the middle. This one doesn't. But they both have very thick liners, and both of them have the axis lock, and they're sick to actuate. I mean, they get real smooth, man. If you don't have any Benchmade Blue Lube, Lynn or whoever's watching, y'all try, before I found out about the Benchmade Blue Lube rim oil, it's a very light oil, and it doesn't attract a lot of lint or anything from your pockets or dirt, dust, you know, into the pivot. I've never had a knife get what they call gritty, you know, on the action. But anyway, that's it. That's my review on the Ganzo. Thanks for watching, everybody, and peace be with you. God bless. Like, subscribe, and share. I had somebody ask why my channel, you know, they were surprised my channel hadn't grown to more subscribers yet. And I didn't tell him, but I mean, I don't have Facebook and I don't have any of these other things. This is my only social outlet. So for those of you that talk to me through this, and I answer all my comments and everything, it's a pretty cool thing. So anyway, y'all take care.